Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's live broadcast. My name is Gobind, and this is your Channel for Grace. Thank you so much, everybody that is here live in the chat. And thank you to those of you that are watching the replay. We are going to talk about the fall equinox, the astrology of the fall equinox. I'm going to show you the chart and a couple of other charts as well to show you how amazing this day actually is astrologically. And even though we've been experiencing a lot of heavy transits that are giving a lot of kind of crazy energy, gnarly energy, things that are feeling really emotionally draining, the Mars retrograde, for example, even though we're having those heavy transits, today marks a really powerful shift and a really powerful transition. I'm excited to talk about it with you guys. For those of you that are new to the channel, please subscribe, welcome, and make sure that you hit that notification bell so you get notified of when I go live and when I upload videos. And please make sure to give this video a thumbs up as well. We have episode 5 of the Channel for Grace Uncut podcast now available. And I talk all about your ruling planet in astrology and how to figure out what your ruling planet is and what it means about you and your personality that you actually project out to the world. So go check that out. It's on Apple Podcasts and other podcast streaming platforms. There's links also to everything that I talk about in the videos in the descriptions of my videos. So let's see who's actually in the chat. We've got Abby here. Welcome, Abby. Welcome, Melanie. Welcome, Chris, Valerie, Boo Barth. Christine is also here. I made it. Yes, awesome. And Christina G is also here. Thank you guys for showing up. This is actually going to be a really fun broadcast. And I'm going to warn you because I've had allergies all day, so I'm like blowing my nose and sneezing and all kinds of fun things like that today. It actually sucks, and I'm being sarcastic, but here we are. We're doing it. We're getting it done. We're going live. Hello, Teresa. We're going live, and I'm excited to be here with you guys to be sharing this information. Tomorrow, I will be doing the ceremony, the fall equinox ceremony. So you can tune in tomorrow, and because we were not able to do a live ceremony for the new moon in Virgo, I will be playing music tomorrow here on my guitar and singing original songs. So that's going to be really fun. I'm excited about that. What other news do we have going on this weekend? We are going to be embarking on another journey of the Aquarian Astrology Module 4. And this is the Astrology Level 1 course that I am doing. And Module 4 is all about the planet Mercury and what Mercury represents, what Mercury means when he's in a specific sign, and what it means when he's retrograde in a specific sign, what it means when he's in a certain house in your chart. And all of these modules help you to learn astrology at a pace that makes it like digestible. So far, we've talked about the fundamentals of astrology in Module 1. We've also talked about the sun in Module 2, and we've talked about the moon in Module 3. So now we get to talk about the planets that start to go on retrogrades, which is a whole new topic in astrology. And we'll talk a little bit about what it means when a planet actually goes retrograde and what's the relationship to us here on Earth. So I think that is everything that I want to share with you guys. If you're not on my email list, make sure you get on my email list. I do give out a free moon astrology guide that tells you what psychic gifts you have based off of your moon sign. That there's a link in the description of this video to get on the email list. And every week on Wednesdays, I send out a moon magic report, which is actually really awesome too. So let's talk about the fall equinox and what it actually means, and how is this time of year significant, and why should we pay attention to this time of year? Why should we care that it's the fall equinox? Well, we live on a planet, and in astrology, especially tropical Western astrology, we really focus on the seasons. And whenever we transition from one season to another season, the energy shifts, and we can feel that tangibly on planet Earth. We can see it physically manifesting. We can see, for example, in the fall equinox, that the leaves start turning colors and eventually they dry up and they fall. We see things become more bare, and like trees become more bare. We see the weather start to shift. So we go from the hot summer days to more cool autumn. There's rain, there's more cold weather that comes in. And of course, the cold weather officially comes in the winter. But this is a very much a transitional season. And it is about going inwards. The one thing that's really important about the fall season, or the actual fall, the day of the fall equinox, is that the day and the night are equal light. They're equal length. So the lightness and the darkness have equal length. And that's significant because this means that this is a point where we're moving into a little bit more of balance. When we celebrate in the ancient Celtic traditions, the celebration of the fall equinox is all about celebrating the restoration of balance and integration in our lives, and celebrating the harvest. We plant the seeds in the winter. That's like when the seed is in the cocoon, and spiritually we are also in the cocoon. We also move into the spring where the seeds start to sprout. In the summer, the flowers bloom, and in the fall we harvest the fruit. And when you think about it in that way, you understand this is a transitional period. This is the one season where we're not really waiting for something to happen, where it's already happened, and now we get to enjoy it, we get to see it, we get to watch it unfold, and we get to wait for the next time that we get to plant our seeds. And you get allergies in the fall too. Exactly. Exactly. It sucks having allergies, but I've had them my whole life. This is not anything new, but I do realize that I have had them a lot more here in Portland, in Oregon, than I have had in a long time anywhere. So I'm thinking that this kind of atmosphere area is not really that conducive to my respiratory health. Let's just say that. So I am really looking forward to moving to a drier climate area. But from today on, the nights are going to start getting a little bit longer. And we are going to go into an inner journey, or make the transition into an inner journey. You only get them in the spring. Yeah, exactly. So the fall is also the doorway to winter. It's like a portal. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to keep blowing my nose and all that good stuff. So just ignore that part, and I'm just going to keep talking. But basically, one of the things that is celebrated in the Celtic traditions during the spring, but also the fall equinox, is the energy of the dragon. Like the dragon as the spirit animal. Exactly, Sedona. The dragon as the spirit animal, but the dragon also as a representation of like a spiritual shift and kind of like a big awakening. And I wanted to read to you a little bit. I'm gonna give you guys a lot of like little resources tonight to show you to paint this picture. So hang in there, and you'll see that by the end of the broadcast, you're gonna understand that today is such a powerful day. You're not gonna want to miss tomorrow's ceremony, because tomorrow will be the day where we call in that spiritual awakening into our own selves, into our lives. Thanks, Melanie. So this is a quote I'm going to read to you from this book, Sacred Earth Celebrations. Ooh. But this is basically, I have it written on my notes, so I don't actually have to look at the book. But this is about what the dragon represents during this time of the year. So the dragon goes underground now because it's getting ready for the winter. And so this is like a symbolism of what we do on a spiritual basis. Here, the dragon is invoked to carry the fire energy into the inner realms. Remember, the dragon is the fire energy, to activate the fire that lives within. The dragon is an ancient energy symbol representing earth energy, dynamism, fire, will, and courage. This we take with us now as we turn to face the dark inner realms. This is not a place to fear, as we have been taught, but a place to get in touch with your power, with your strength, with your inner focus, with your spiritual path, and a reconnection to your inner wisdom. And the other thing I wanted to actually read to you guys is from the spirit animal cards, what the dragon actually represents. And the dragon in the animal oracle is about seeing one's most true self and about balancing the ego. So how crazy is that? This is also again about balance. The dragon sees everything. Its essence has been with us since before our first breath and will be there at our last. It watches us navigate the external world as well as our inner world. The dragon energy is awakened. When the dragon energy is awakened, we are courageous, visionary, and can easily drop into witness consciousness. It is almost as if we are traveling with a great friend inside of ourselves. When we look in the mirror, deep in our eyes, we may even glimpse the self behind the self, the one who is watching us. This is the power of the dragon, breathing transformative fire into every cell of our bodies. Witnessing this omnipotent energy, even for a brief moment, helps us surrender and let go. And that is what the fall is about. We let the dragon guide us. We hop on its back for a ride. And as we traverse even the most difficult terrain, the dragon's eyes see beauty everywhere. It is said that if a yogi does not see beauty in the world, the Agni is dim. Agni is described as the inner fire or sacred intelligence. May even just the mention of the dragon stir the embers of intelligence within you. The dragon is also connected to the third chakra, which is the solar plexus chakra. The subtle energy of the dragon lives at the navel center, in the Manipura chakra. Manipura translates to the city of hidden gems, and behind its gates burns the fire of our transformation and digestion. The sages believe health of the fire at the navel center is what governs our ability to clearly see both the inner and the outer dimensions. So I'm going to show you the chart of this full moon. So give me 1 second while I pull that up. Thank you, Rebecca. Yes, everybody, please share and invite people to this broadcast. So we're going to look at first what are the actual aspects that are happening during this time astrologically. And I've got 3 different charts to show you guys tonight. So what you're looking at right now is the chart for the fall equinox, which basically what this means is we are looking at the chart of when the sun exactly moves into the sign of Libra. That's what we're looking at. Sun moves into Libra, and it marks the beginning of the fall season. There's a couple of things to know or understand about the sun being in the sign of Libra. Basically, if you're a Libra sun, then this is your season. So happy Libra season. But the other thing is that the sun in the sign of Libra is actually in its fall position. The sun is exalted in the sign of Aries and in its fall position in the sign of Libra, which means that it doesn't really like being in this position. But there's something else that's really significant, hello there, about the sun in Libra. And it is that this marks, when the sun enters the sign of Libra, this marks the exact halfway point in the astrological year. And when you look at, like, of course, opposing Libra is always Aries energy. When you think about the fact that when the sun moves into Aries, we begin the spring, then it's basically exactly halfway when we get to Libra. Remember, Aries is the first sign and Libra is the 7th. And that's significant because this is not just the next 3 months. This chart isn't just going to affect the next 3 months. This chart is actually going to affect the next 6 months. So we just need to remember that that is the significance of this time astrologically in the chart. So as we start to look at some of the aspects that the sun is making to the planets and the planets are making to each other in this chart, we start to paint a picture of what's energetically the themes that are popping up for us for the next 3 to 6 months. And the first one is that the sun is still squaring the nodes. Now, we just had a new moon in Virgo, and this new moon in Virgo was squaring the nodes as well. And anytime you have an aspect to the nodes, this brings up destiny. This brings up future. It also brings up the past and karmic relationships, karmic situations. The north node is where we want to move towards. It's outside of our comfort zone. And the south node is where we want to move away from. So this is karmic activation. So the next 3 to 6 months, there is a karmic activation. The other thing that's happening on this day is we've got Mars, who is over here at 26 degrees. He's retrograde. He's moving backwards. 1 degree from the exact square to Saturn. That's significant because these Mars squares to Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto that have been happening are major points of tension and stress and obstacles that cause situations to get stirred up because something needs to change. Something needs to shift. So this tells us that this is going to be a theme for us. Mars in Aries is really needing and desiring to be free and to take action and to be the hero and to be the warrior, the sacred warrior. And Saturn in Capricorn really wants to bring in restrictions and say that it's not the time right now for freedom. Right now is the time to be, working hard and taking things seriously. But Mars kind of wants to do its own thing and be like the Fool in the tarot, which is an energy that kind of has no boundaries and wants to just keep pushing forward and doesn't really want to think about the consequences. But Saturn is like, no. There's consequences to your actions. And so responsibility naturally has to come during this time. Hello, Karen. Sorry, I dropped my tissue. So that's another theme that's happening here. This is a time to be responsible. This is a time to reflect. Hey, Julene. And this is a time to understand that there are many things that we can do and we can get done, but we have to think about the consequences of our actions. We have to think about everything, the whole spectrum of things that can manifest from the actions that we take. So that's another theme. And then here's the other thing. And once I start talking about Venus, this is where it starts to get really exciting. There is a yod to Venus, and a yod is formed when you have a sextile between two planets. And we are looking at a sextile from Jupiter, who's at 17 degrees, to Neptune, who's at 19 degrees. And from this sextile are two quincunxes that point to one exact point. So there's one quincunx and there's the other quincunx, and they're pointing exactly at Venus. This is what we call a yod in astrology. Oh, well, we are listening to it now. So hopefully this can give you guidance as to where to move next. So a lot of these energies too, Jessica, have been already happening. So this is not something new really. It's just more of like a setting in of the foundational energies for the next 3 to 6 months. So what is a yod, and what does it mean for the finger of God to be pointing at a certain planet? Venus she's the goddess of love. She is the ruler of the sign of Taurus. And she's also the ruler of the sign of Libra. So this is significant because the ruler of Libra, where we also see the sun has just moved into, has this very powerful finger of God saying, hey, we need to focus on this planet. We need to focus on what she's doing. We need to focus on what's going on here with Venus. And there are a couple of other things going on that have to do with this planet Venus. Venus has also been going through many strong shifts this year. For one, she had her inferior conjunction with the sun in June. And now she has moved from being the evening star to the morning star. And when she's the morning star, which she is for 9 months, she brings in hopes and dreams. And it's almost like you make a wish on a star, and it's the aftermath of the dark night of the soul. It's the other side of the journey. It's the light at the end of the tunnel. So she is at a position right now where she brings in a lot of positivity, a lot of love, a lot of beauty, a lot of hope and dreams and wishes. So this is a very positive energy, and she's the ruler of Libra and Taurus. So the significance is the sun moving into Libra, the yod pointing towards Venus, and bringing in all this beautiful energy to us. Now, the other thing that's important is, well, what are the players of the sextile that are making this yod? Neptune is about our dreams. Jupiter is about abundance. Jupiter expands everything, and Neptune brings in that compassion. Neptune is in its home sign of Pisces, so that means that he is very strong. He's the god of the sea, and the god of basically rules the subconscious mind. Things do come up, but with Jupiter brings in that positive, joyful energy to the connection. Now, it is important to recognize that Jupiter is in its fall position in the sign of Capricorn. However, in a sextile to Neptune, the sextile brings in the positivity. The sextile brings in the beautiful energy, the harmonious energy. So the harmonious energy, the dreams, positive dreams, beautiful dreams being expanded by this planet of Jupiter are pointing to the goddess of love and beauty. And Jupiter and Venus are called the benefics. Jupiter is the greater benefic. Venus is the lesser benefic. So you can't really have a negative reading with Jupiter and Venus involved, especially when you bring in Neptune as well. And it's Neptune in its home sign of Pisces. So the other thing is also that there is this yod, and we talked about the yod. The other thing is that Venus is in a fire sign, and the moon is also in a fire sign, and they're actually trining each other. So there's a fire activation. So you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the dragon. The dragon is coming through this fire energy. The moon in Sagittarius is loves freedom, loves curiosity, loves to explore, loves to expand. Sagittarius is also the ruling sign of Jupiter. Venus in Leo wants to have fun, wants to enjoy herself, wants to do things in a way that makes her shine. She wants to be at her best, which means we want to be at our best right now. And Leo is ruled by the sun. And this whole thing is about the cycles of the sun. So when you look at this specific connection between Venus and the sun is in Venus's ruling sign, and Venus is in the sun's ruling sign. And we call that mutual reception. They're communicating with each other, saying, I got you. Like, I'm kind of holding space for you. I understand you. You're helping me, and I'm helping you. That's what Venus and the sun, they're in a very strong communication here. And I'm going to show you in a moment the helio chart, which I got to give props to the Leo King, because he has been talking about the helio charts. And he's been guiding people to really study the astrology of the heliocharts. So he's the inspiration behind looking at heliocharts. And then he's got a teacher that he gets inspired by as well. So I just wanted to, do a little shout out there to the Leo King. Yeah, so basically the yacht is on fire. But this is significant. Venus in the sun's ruling sign of Leo, and the sun is in Venus's ruling sign of Libra. So what's going on here with these two planets? Well, the truth is that there's a lot going on. They're talking to each other. They're communicating. The trine from the moon to Venus is a good positive activation, a harmonious activation of our emotions and the way that we love. Venus is how we love. So the last thing is that Mercury is in Libra, and he's making an opposition to Mars. This is the one aspect that I would say is kind of challenging. When an opposition comes around, this feels like there's something outside of us that is affecting us that we don't really have control over. And it also feels like we have to make a decision. And Mercury in Libra is not exactly in the best placement. Mercury, obviously, his best place is Gemini. But in Libra, he wants to be fair. He wants to find balance. He wants to look at the whole picture. He wants to understand everyone's point of view. But opposing Mars in Aries is like, no, my way or the highway. Like, I am doing this. I'm very determined. I am going to make this happen. I'm going to succeed. And so the opposition to Mercury is the struggle between our desire to take action and to move forward in our lives, and then opposing the thought patterns of, well, you got to look at both things. You got to look at everything here that's happened. You can't just go and do whatever you want. And Mars is like, yes, I can, because that's what I do in my home sign of Aries. So there's a little bit of there's a fight between should we just go ahead and go forward with this one thing that we want to do, or do we need to think about it a little bit more? Remember that Libra energy has a hard time making decisions. And so that this creates a little bit of like kind of a tense energy, and between our drive and our thought processes. Now I'm going to switch over to the helio chart. Okay, so this is the helio chart. So why are we looking at the helio chart? The reason we're looking at the helio chart is because of Venus and the significance of what's happening right now. So in a helio chart, the sun is at the center. And the earth is actually on the chart as one of the planets that's going around. So this is basically our solar system. So when you look at a helio chart, you're looking at the position of the planets actually right now in the universe. So it's a cool perspective. So the one thing that's important to recognize is that right now, basically all of the planets, if you were to divide this in half, all the planets are on one side of the chart. There's nothing on the other side. There's like an emptiness. There's a void. There's a space that is not able to be filled right now. It's empty. It's not going to give you anything. So what we're going to look at in this helio chart is the position of Venus. Venus is at 9 degrees of Gemini in the helio chart. And what that means is that she is exactly aligned with a star, a fixed star that we call Aldebaran. And Aldebaran is a star in the constellation of the Bull. And if you think about Venus, she rules Taurus, She also rules Libra, but right now we're going to focus on the rulership of Taurus. So the bull is the that's the symbol of Taurus. The bull is the Aldebaran is, I think it's the left eye of the bull in the sky. It is one of the royal stars. So I'm going to read to you a little bit about what does Aldebaran represent. So the big star in Taurus, the big royal star is Aldebaran. And we call Aldebaran one of the four watchers because the star is the star of the spring and of new beginnings. It is the left eye of the bull fixed on earth and life and matter. The right eye looks the other way towards the divine. It is a powerful star of success, and placed on its own in an influential position in the chart, Aldebaran can make careers. Nevertheless, it is also a suitable starting point for a more spiritual quest, reaching through matter to the land of the soul, the spiritual origin of humankind. Aldebaran is an intensely red star, which points to its purely martial nature. So because it's red, it has Mars energy in it. Its effective material action and the spring energy of growth and expansion. So Aldebaran, the significance of this star, when you think about the rulership of Venus and Taurus, Taurus is about stability. Taurus is about the goddess. Taurus is about Mother Earth. Taurus rules the spring because the spring is when there's like the lush, the rivers flow, the flowers sprout, everything comes alive in the spring. And it is a new awakening, a new spiritual awakening. So remember that the sun, who is in the center of this helio chart, is in alignment with Venus, and then behind Venus, right, there's Aldebaran. So we can pretend Aldebaran is like right here. So this is an actual astronomical alignment. They are aligned exactly with the star. So that means that the star gives the meaning of the transit. And because Venus rules Taurus, she's loving this energy. So we're focusing on relationships. We're focusing on stability. We're focusing on also growth in terms of financial growth, because remember, Taurus rules the second house of finances and values. All of these things are getting activated. These, to me, what this says is that this is a portal that is opening, and we can step through it if we want to, or we can choose not to step through it. The other thing that's important about Aldebaran, the star Aldebaran, is that it's basically in the same area where the Pleiades star system is. The seven sisters of the Pleiades. And the Pleiades energy is very significant in terms of the transition between the age of Pisces and the age of Aquarius. So there's an activation of Pleiades energy. Like there's downloads coming through the goddess of love, the empress, of love, the goddess of the earth, Gaia. I mean, this is like beautiful energy. It's like this. There's a direct line to step through this door, to step through this portal towards the things that make us feel good. Because Taurus is all about sensuality, luxury, material things that bring you comfort in life. It's your favorite covers in the world. It's your favorite food. It's the things that like just feel the best. And that's the energy that is aligning exactly with the sun and Venus on the exact moment that we're entering a new equinox, a new season. This is the portal to heaven. that is opening up right now. And the last chart that I wanted to show you guys is the Vedic chart. And what I want to show you in the Vedic chart is the North Node. In Vedic astrology, this month, I think it's exactly September 20th, the nodes switch signs in Vedic astrology. And they switch signs into the sign of Taurus and Scorpio. So North Node moves into Taurus, South Node moves into Scorpio. Well, what does this mean? I'm going to read to you about what this means because it's literally epic. So I just got done telling you that Venus is aligned with Aldebaran, which is the eye of the bull, which is Taurus constellation. And now we're looking at, in Vedic astrology, how the North Node has now officially moved into the sign of Taurus. This means that for the next 18 months, from the Vedic perspective, this is our focus. Stability, being grounded, financial success, relationships, sensuality, everything that feels good. The sole purpose of the North Node in Taurus is serenity and stability. It's regaining a sense of the sacred in the ordinary. It's a sense of having earned and gained by one's efforts, honoring good traditions, and preserving what is valuable for future generations. And then having the South Node in Scorpio, because you have to think about, well, what balances that energy out? There's a shadow to the South Node in Scorpio in Vedic. It's looking to another for definition. It's self-confidence or too much support. So looking to other people for definition, for self-confidence, taking things that aren't yours, collapsing into a felt sense of emotional pain from previous lives. It's drama. It's adapting an overly serious. It's a gloomy attitude. It's going too quickly into studying the occult and transpersonal realities, like focusing on things that are not here in the moment, not here in front of us, taking a spiritual bypass on your emotional life. The other thing that's significant about the North Node being in Taurus is that it is also where the moon is exalted. So there's a little bit of like, okay, energetically, emotionally, we want to feel good. And that's why Taurus is the feel good energy. This is the energies that they're all happening right now for the fall equinox. So this is a very Venus-ruled time. I know, I love this too. It's a very Venus-ruled moment where you've got North Node in Vedic moving into Taurus. You've got Venus exactly aligned Aldebaran, the royal star Aldebaran, the eye of the bull, next to the Pleiades. You've got the sun in a Venus-ruled sign. You've got the Yod in the tropical chart, that's the finger of God pointing directly towards Venus. I mean, this is going to be an epic Libra season if we choose to step through the door, through this portal that's going to take us towards that feel good energy. If you don't choose it, then you're not going to activate these energies in your life. And what we should talk about is basically, where is this transition happening or affecting in your own chart? So I'll go through all the individual signs now. So if you're Aries, and let me know in the chat, in the comments, if you have Aries, sun, moon, or rising. Hello, Sanders. If you do, that means that the fall season, the next 3, including 6 to 6 months, because it is the halfway point of the year, the focus for you is relationships. For Taurus, sun, moon, and rising, the focus for you is the 6th house of work, of health, of your daily life, your daily schedule. Those are the things that you got to focus on. Nice, Julian. So that's what you got to focus on if you're a Taurus, sun, moon, or rising. If you're Gemini, sun, moon, and rising, especially the next 3 months, this is all about your creativity. The sun is going to be transiting your 5th house of creativity. For Cancer, sun, moon, and rising, this is the activation of the 4th house of the home for you. So everything that has to do with home life for you. Whatever changes, transitions, it will all affect your 4th house. How comfortable are you at home? If you're a Leo, sun, moon, and rising, this is going to be affecting your 3rd house of communication, all kinds of communication, both vocal communication, technological communication, you expressing yourself through whatever forms, writing, reading, all that stuff. And then if you are a Virgo, sun, moon, and rising, this is going to be affecting your 2nd house of finances and values. So the things that are important to you, how you make money, how you bring money in, the work that you put into to bring this money in. And so that's cool because remember, we've been talking a lot about this Taurus energy that's coming up. Taurus and Libra and Venus ruled signs are going to feel this very strongly. So that means that if you're a Libra or a Taurus, you're going to feel this strongly. If you have any kind of like those positions, sun, moon, and rising in Libra or Taurus, this is going to be a strong activation for you. The door will open wide. And especially, and with Virgo, sun, moon, and rising, because this is activating your 2nd house, which is ruled by Taurus, it's going to be significant. And the same thing goes with Aries. That's going to be having this transitioning the 7th house of relationships, which is ruled by Libra, a Venus ruled sign. If you are the Libra, sun, moon, and rising, this is activating your 1st house. So this is Libra season. So obviously when it's your season, you feel this like activation of yourself, of your sun, the energy of your soul wanting to come out and express itself. This is really a shift, a transition into, of your self identity. For Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising, the transitions and all this is affecting your 12th house. And the 12th house is, it's dreams. It's ruled by Neptune. It's the subconscious minds. It's the things that are hidden. It's divinity. It's things like knowledge from beyond. It's the occult also. It's dreams, wishes. It's a spiritual realm for Scorpio. It's a spiritual activation for Scorpio. For Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising, this is happening. This is affecting your 11th house of friends and sharing your gifts with the world. And so you got to think about, in terms of Venus and relationships, this is acquaintances, this is friendships, this is also networks, this is groups that you're a part of, organizations that you're a part of, but it's also like how you are yourself are sharing the beauty and your sense of beauty and security with the world. For Capricorn, sun, moon, or rising, this is happening in your 10th house of career. So this is activating how you show up to the world, how you're recognized in the world, how people see you in the, your reputation, how people see you in the world, like what are you known for, and what's going on in your career life. And with Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising, this is affecting your 9th house of spiritual integration. So this is again, just like the 12th house for Scorpios, this is a spiritual journey that you're embarking on as the moon moves into as the sun moves into Libra, and we enter the fall season. So it's preparing for understanding things. It's preparing for more knowledge coming into your life. It's, I would say, a good time to study something new, to take a course or a workshop or a class or higher education of some kind, that will help you learn something new that you didn't know before, that will expand your mind and then in turn help you integrate on a spiritual level. And then for Pisces, sun, moon, and rising, this is a deep change. This is the death, the symbolic death ritual that brings in a lot of change. That is the eighth house, that causes you to experience deep shifts and transformation to help you be reborn. Because in order to be reborn, we have to let go of what doesn't serve us, and that is what Pisces will have to work on, is that letting go. And for everybody too, the fall is about letting go. And I explained that in the beginning. It's like the fall is the season to release and let go of anything that no longer serves you. So that's everything that I wanted to talk about, you guys. Thank you for putting up with my allergies and me blowing my nose every 5 seconds. I apologize for that. It's not very professional, but it is what it is. And I really wanted to go live and tell you guys all of this stuff because I think that it is very important that we understand it, that we know where it's happening in our chart, that we step into the possibilities that are opening up, that we look at, the door that's opening and where it's opening in our lives, and how to step through those doors, how to feel good, how to start to feel good despite all of the crazy changes that we're seeing in society. This brings our focus into ourselves, into our own lives, the things that we can control. Like, I can't control what's going on outside of my, my personal environment. I can't control what's going on in the world. I can't control what's going on wherever, that's outside of what is, within your realm. But I can control what I eat. I can control what I do. I can control what I wear. I can control all these things. And so that's what we need to focus on. And that is what this is saying, is that it's time for us to focus on the things that we can control, so that we at least have a gateway, a portal to feel really good, instead of feel awful because of what's happening, outside of us. Jai, where is the most significant impact? I would say rising is going to be the most accurate impact. Astrologically, here's the better way to say it. The rising sign is the most literal impact, because it's based off of your astrology chart, meaning wherever your rising sign is, the sun will be in the house that I just told you about. But if you have a sun in a certain sign, but it's not your rising sign, it affects you more intuitively. So for the sun and the moon, it's an intuitive reading. If you look at your sun sign and your moon sign and you go, yes, I feel that makes sense, that is affecting me in this way, it's intuitively you go with that. But your rising sign for sure is more literal and more accurate in that sense, and will have a lot of impact. But the truth is that you could feel it elsewhere too. And that's why I say sun, moon, and rising. Oh, thanks, Sandra. I feel fine. It's just allergies. It's all the smoke. Well, I've actually had allergies my whole life, and they just come and go. And I do feel like I'm ready to go to a more drier climate. Because I don't have it when there's a drier climate. I don't have allergies as much. Yes, thank you. Thank you everybody so much. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to share it out, and I'm going to go live tomorrow, and hopefully I'm not going to have allergies tomorrow. I'm crossing my fingers for that. But I will be going live at the same time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, to go over to actually do a ceremony to bring in the fall. You're welcome. You're welcome, Valerie. You're welcome, Julene. You're welcome, Boo Barth, Lisa, Sanders, Christina G, Chris. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I know, Julene. I know. Uh, it's coming soon. It's coming soon. That's funny. And no, if you do want to get a private reading from me, you can. I've been updating my website and all kinds of cool things coming in the future. My friend and I, at the end of October, are going to be doing a special event to promote our new book called A Circle of Stars, which there's only going to be a limited amount of copies available. And it is a guide, astrological guide into the lunar and Celtic wheel of the year. The astrology of all the new and the full moons, and the astrology of all the Celtic holidays with rituals that you can do, the whole year planned out in this beautiful, my friend Tara Weil designed it. Hey, babe, in this beautiful display. The book itself is like magical, but there's only going to be a limited amount of copies available to buy the actual printed book, and then after that you can still purchase it, but it will be an interactive ebook experience, which I'm actually really excited about that as well. So I'll let you guys go. Again, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you tomorrow here on the channel at the same time for our fall equinox ceremony. Satnam, everybody.